Hello, Ray Wheatley. I'm here with former two-time Australian champion, Ricky Rayner. How are you, Rick?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good to see you, Rick. It's been a while, mate. Rick, you had a terrific career. You made your debut in April 1991. You fought Darren Flynn. You stopped him in 2 rounds. Can you tell me, you remember that fight?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah? Bankstown Sports Club?
Yeah.
And
Funny enough, if I didn't hit his eye that night, I probably would have got beat. I was so nervous.
Was your mate? Yeah.
Yeah, nerves really hit me in that fight.
It's your first pro fight, but then, mate, 1991, your second pro fight, you fought the future world-class Tony Weeby. You beat Tony over 6 rounds at the Bankstown Sports Club, mate. Can you tell me about that fight? You remember that?
Yeah, I do. They had big raps on him.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I won the fight pretty unanimously.
Clearly?
But they gave it a split-point decision. But
split points decision. You were confident you won clearly?
Oh, you only had to watch the fight. I won it clearly.
Yeah. There was no knockdowns in that fight? No knockdowns?
No.
He was tall and rangy like you, right?
Yeah, but there wasn't much in us. We were both pretty tall.
Yeah. Well, it's good. You were both only having your second fights as a pro. Okay, 1992, you win the Australian featherweight title. You beat a very good champion in Mark Cribb. Mark Cribb had a record of 19-5-3 when you fought him. And I actually refereed Mark Cribb when he won the Australian title, so I know he's a very solid champion. And can you tell me about your win over Mark Cribb?
Yeah, well, I was really fit for that, really well prepared for that fight. My grandfather had just died. Yeah. My first son was just born, so like I said to Paul and Nazari the other day, they could have put 2 people in, they weren't beating me.
No one's going to beat you. Who trained you for that fight?
Steve Gosson.
Stevie Gosson, he was a great trainer, a great little fighter too. Now, it wasn't long after that, you get a Commonwealth title fight against the well-credentialed Englishman, Billy Hardy. Billy Hardy had fought for the world title just previous to fighting you, and fought a split decision loss against Orlando Conazales. So you're fighting a world-class fighter, mate. You push him very hard, mate. Goes 10 rounds. Tell me about that fight.
Yeah, well, I knew he was a good boxer. I thought there was a chance of steamrolling him.
Yeah.
And I knocked him down the 5th. Lights went out for 7 minutes.
You think that was a plan by that?
Well,
You want to know.
I don't know, 7 minutes with the lights on and off, and then when they come back on, he's in his corner all nice and healthy on his stool, you know. It's a different ball game, but he broke his hand in the 8th. I went out for a bit of a bruise around in the 10th, thinking I'd finish hard in the last 2. And as it turned out, they stopped in the 10th.
You're okay?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with me. I was moving forward, throwing punches. But Mancini and Mickey Duff yelling out to the referee to stop the fight, and he done what he was bloody told. So, it's such
At any rate, Rick, it doesn't stop you, mate. You're back in Australia. 1993, you get to fight a world-class fighter from South Africa, Dito Molifiani. You're battling very hard over 12 rounds. I was a judge in that fight. Very close fight. Molifiani gets it on a majority decision. Molifiani, previous to fighting you, had defeated a guy called Ricky Quiles. And Ricky Quiles had a record of 18-1 when Molifiani beat him. And a few years later, Ricky Quiles fought a draw with Vince Phillips, the man who stopped Kostya. So it's a great effort by you. So back in 1990, well, tell me about the Molifiani fight. Tell me about that one.
Well, funny enough, I really think it was the only fight I wasn't really 100% prepared for.
You didn't prepare properly?
I did, but I was away from my family. I was in Melbourne.
Yeah.
That was the first.
Training with Keith Ellis.
Trained with Keith Ellis, and although I had like Scotty Brower and
Scotty,
Lester, and it's a good sparring.
Yeah, you were sparring Lester.
Yeah.
And Scotty.
Yeah, like I said, he had a few other handy boys there too. Keith.
Yeah.
So I was getting plenty of good sparring and that, but
You think you were getting homesick?
yeah, I just didn't feel right to me.
Didn't have the right spark.
Yeah, I think I would have. My preparation would have been better if I'd stayed home, but
I know exactly what you're saying.
Is what it is.
But you still gave him a great battle, mate. He was a genuine world-class fighter. And in 1996, you win your second Australian title. You battle the well-credentialed Glenn Sullivan over 12 rounds, mate. You take the title. So tell me about your win over Glenn Sullivan.
Yeah, well, he cut me high in the first round. He was pretty good actually. I fought Glenn 3 times. He won the last one on the card as well, which was a fight I took on an hour's notice.
That was a cut eye, right?
Yeah, well, I took that fight on an hour's notice. But we also, I think he might have been the first one of my first pro fights too, like early days we met.
You fought some good ones early on.
Yeah, I think I was a draw with Sutherland, and then we had one each after that. So.
Yeah. And mate, fight of the year, 1996, a draw with Ronnie Reed. Tell me about that fight.
Yeah, another one I really think the draw wasn't a bad result, but I thought I'd done enough to win it.
Yeah, you look like you'd done enough to win, mate.
But in saying that, I still think it was probably more of a highlight for Ronnie Reed than it was for me.
Yeah, well, you fought for the commonwealth title twice before.
Yeah, so, yeah.
You're 2 times the Australian champ. That was great. And then you're off to England to fight for the Commonwealth Super Featherweight title, this time against John Joe Irwin. You're accompanied by the World Championship referee, Johnny Wright. Tell me about that trip to England and your fight with John Joe Irwin.
Yeah, the trip with Johnny Wright was something different, but yeah, he is a great bloke.
He looked after you, mate?
Oh, he was a great bloke.
He's professional, he's been around the game.
Yeah, and I knew after I'd been there before I wasn't going to get a point decision, so I turned into a bit of a war early, and as it turned out, it was a bit of a bloodbath, but...
Did you have him in trouble?
Huh?
Did you have him in trouble? Felt like you had him in trouble?
Don't know.
Did he ever have you in trouble?
No, not really. I had a good chin, I think.
Yeah, you were tough.
But we had both had splits on our head from the head clash. Yeah. Both had cut eyes. Yeah. He had a cut ear and a split nose.
So plenty of claret there.
So yeah, like I said, it ended up being a bloodbath.
That would have been entertaining for the fans anyway.
It was, yeah. Oh, I got booed going out and cheered going out.
Cheered going back in the dressing room. Yeah. Well, you always put up a great effort. Great effort, mate, when you fought, Ricky. Now, Ricky, I was a referee of your last fight. It was for a Filipino, Robert Ruiz, over 10 rounds. Tell me about that fight.
Yeah, well, I think I fought, might have been world title prior to that, with Molifiona. I wasn't going to retire off the loss. And
did you think that was going to be your last fight, or did you have any plans of that?
Yeah, I pretty much did, yeah.
Were you losing interest in the game, or?
Tell the truth, I just wanted to be around for my family when I was older.
You've been married for a few years.
Yeah, I was always pretty much a family man.
Of course.
But as it turns out, it's not helping much now.
Yeah. Okay, Ricky. So your amateur career was 12 fights.
Yeah.
Your trainers, Stevie Gossett.
No, back then, as an amateur, it would have been Cornet's trainer,
Or John Jury.
John Jury, and
So he trained you, right? John Jury trained you.
John Jury and Colin, a bloke named Colin Higgins, I think.
Down there at Parramatta Police Boys Club.
So yeah.
Now, mate, you sparred some of the best. So you've been in the ring with Kostya.
Yeah, I got a couple of rounds in with Costa.
A lot of rounds with Lester Ellis.
A few with Lester.
Yeah. Calvin Grove, the world champ.
Yeah, I didn't get much with him, but when he was down, he was at the gym, and I got a couple of rounds with him.
Well, Rick, you had a great career, mate. A great career. Now, mate, you're battling some health issues, mate, at the moment. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I got diagnosed with MND, and probably, I don't know, just as much chance to win a lotto, wasn't I? But, hey, we do it with the cards we're dealt, and that's...
You've got a great attitude.
Just take it,
yeah, you've got a great attitude, mate.
every day is another day, and we just take it as it comes.
Yeah, great attitude. Rick. You've got a lovely family. I just met your family, mate. So, Rick, let's get together again very soon, mate, eh?
I'd love to.
Good on you, Rick. Thanks again, mate.
No worries, thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Rick.